What's up everyone, Steven here from Leadjetty.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own content recommendation system. To use as an example, I've got this article pulled up from one of our users over at theloadedpig.com. And so the article is the cost of owning a dog calculator. Can you afford a dog? And if we go all the way to the bottom, you'll see that they have some recommended articles. And these, I don't know what tool they're using or whatever. And this is really nice looking. Probably kind of relevant, but we're essentially, no matter what tool we're using, guessing based on what this article is potentially tagged with or the text inside it, some other articles from the site that people might want to read. Now, that's useful and it's a great thing to have, but one thing we can do with Leadjetty is actually ask people, hey, what is the most interesting thing? And then sort of program in exact related content based on their answer. So let me show you how to do that. So if somebody's reading this article and we don't necessarily know how they got here, maybe they came from Google or social media, we can kind of assume they might be interested in this article from one of a few angles. Either they might be interested in pets, they might be interested in budgeting or saving, or who knows. Most likely it's pets, realistically, from this, but probably some kind of combo if they're trying to find out if they can actually afford a dog. So I think pets and budgeting, those sorts of things would be a safe category. If we go, I think I saw this in the home buying section. There's another picture with a dog on the front. I'm getting some ideas here. Okay, so let's go back over to Leadjetty, and I'm going to create a new flow. And again, this isn't my site, so I can't put it on the site, obviously, but just to kind of show you how you might do this functionally. And again, you probably would choose totally different stuff than I am. So let's do, I'm going to say TLP demo content recommendation demo. So we'll go ahead and just save this, or create flow rather. And all of this should come together in just a second. So we don't actually have a content recommendation template yet. That might be something we put together. But for now, we'll just skip and start from scratch. And kind of a design thing here we need to fix. That should be up higher. But in any case, we're just going to start off by adding a step. So let's start by making something work, and then we'll spend a little bit of time making it look a little bit better. So the first thing we need to do is pick a single choice buttons element. This is the central functional piece of content recommendation. We need to ask people, hey, what are you interested in? And we'll try to jazz up the copy and wording shortly, but for now, let's just actually say, what topic are you the most interested in? Okay. And this doesn't need to be anything complicated. We might actually just do pets, budgeting, and saving, and investing. Now, these are just random topics that might be written about on this particular blog. Actually, I don't think there's really any pets articles other than the one that we were looking at. But in any case, we'll get back to this in a minute because there's a lot of benefits, or a couple really clear benefits, to asking this question instead of just guessing at the bottom of the page. So here we're going to have, basically the question and 4 buttons. And I'm going to add 4 steps, which will become clear in just a second. So now we have steps 1 through 5 here. And I'm going to say that step 1, or step 2 rather, is going to be about pets. We haven't gotten to content cards yet, so let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. Let me go ahead and set up the actions. That's probably the next logical thing to do. So let's say that step 2 is about pets. So I'm going to skip to step as an action, and I'm just going to type the number 2 here. It's a number field. And then if this question is equal to pets. So you kind of saw how to do that. I'll do it one more time on camera and then finish it off camera. So we'll say skip to step, and then we'll say 3 this time, and we'll say if the answer to this question is equal to budgeting. So now we have those two. Let me just add the others. So now if we scroll down, you can see we have 4 different actions. So we have if what topic you're the most interested in is equal to investing, skip to step 5. 4 is saving, 3 is budgeting, and 2 is pets. So let's go ahead and add what is called a content card. Now, we don't want to reuse the same article that we were just on, because basically they would already be on that page. So this is something you have to be kind of careful about when you're doing these content recommendations, is excluding the one that you're currently on from the page. And actually that may not be the most important idea, and it'd be kind of difficult if you want to reuse these throughout the site. So not 100% sure how to deal with that just yet. But in any case, let's save that problem for another day. So if we go over to home buying, I noticed there's another picture with a dog. So we'll copy this one. And, you have to think like a marketer here a little bit. Like if somebody says they're interested in pets, they might not necessarily need an article about pets. If the image is in fact a pet, they might click it. And the whole objective here, or part of the objective, is get people clicking and staying on your site longer. So we added this new type of element called a content card. And you add a content card, you click it, and then you can put the link in here. And then before I run off, let me just copy the title, and we'll paste the title in here. Let me replace all of that. So if we save this, it's just going to go ahead and pull in basically from the social meta tags and populate this card here. So as I said, I don't think there are actually a lot of other articles about pets. So what we might do is say, okay, what do pet owners care about? They might want to buy a house with a yard or something to that effect. I'm kind of stretching there. Realistically, a perfect scenario would be like you have several articles about pets. And actually, there's a side point I want to come back to with that in just a minute, where we talk about how you can use this tool to actually figure out what people want to see more of. So let's add another content card here. I'm just going to do the 2, I think. Okay, so in order to not drag this out too much longer, I'm just going to go ahead and get this set up. And then I'm going to grab one other random article for another step so we can see this in action here. And you'll get the idea of how to finish it up yourself. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now we've got our 2 articles here. Step 3 is supposed to be about budgeting. So let's just go to the budgeting category here. And then let's just grab this article. So again, like you could invest a lot more time in thinking about this, but I want to just mostly show you how to get the mechanics going. And you can add more articles here. You can really add probably as many as you want within certain limits, I guess. But we haven't actually tried to see what looks good past a certain point. So beyond like 6, it might get a little tough, but in any case, so we'll add another content card here, paste that link, and then I'm going to grab the title. Now, we actually do pull the title back through the meta tags also, but we're giving you the chance to kind of like change it up a little bit, because some people will put extenders on here, the loaded pig or whatever it is, right, for like SEO reasons. So we wanted to make sure that you have the chance to kind of clean up the title if you want. So anyway, now we've got a few articles. Let's turn this thing on and preview how it works. So if I click preview here, so it's going to say, what topic are you the most interested in? And if I say pets, it's going to present me with a couple of things that I might be interested in. So now what we might want to do is at the top, and I kind of skipped past this a little bit, but what we can actually do is click, and it's going to open that in a new tab. So you kind of get the gist of how that works. If I come back and refresh this, it's going to prompt me to do it again. If I click budgeting, it's going to give me that second article that I put here. So it's kind of cool. What we can do, and obviously I'm not going to go too deep into this, but we can actually, something is slowing my computer down right now. It's probably because I'm recording. But if I click this plus here, and I click what do I want? I want a paragraph. And I'm going to bump this up to the top. When you're dragging and dropping on here, just a side point, sometimes it doesn't want to work properly to drag down. I don't exactly know why, but you can typically drag up. So if you ever get stuck, that's just a side tip here. I just want to add a little text here. Here are some articles you might like, and then maybe like make that bold and heading 4. Obviously, you can put as much or as little text as you want. We'll just refresh this and click pets. Sorry, I'm scrolling. I'm using a mouse for the first time in a while and I'm not used to it. So in any case, that's kind of what that looks like. The other thing I wanted to do is just kind of mess with this a little bit and show you how you could potentially make this a little more attention grabbing. And actually, just to make sure you know, whatever kind of copy you want to have above, you'll need to put it on every single step, because this is only going to show up for your step 2 here with this. Here are some articles you might like. The other thing which some of our users have found out but not really noticed is if you add white space here, I don't know if you see my cursor going down, but if you just hit enter and add white space, that will show up. So if I save this now, you'll see there's this bigger gap here. So if you ever want to like space these things out, there's some other ways too if you mess around with the fonts, and I think there's a line height option somewhere. So, you know, if you want to try that out, feel free. I think that is a way you can kind of get the styling a little bit more to your taste. But before we go too much further, I just want to do 2 more things here. I just want to make this first step stand out a little bit more. And then I want to show you how you can look at the stats so you can see what people are interested in reading more of. So, first of all, let's go over here to the Google. Let's actually just search for a corgi, because I noticed that that's a corgi in both pictures. So let's just grab, and you know, I'm not saying you should do this exactly because you probably need actual permission to use the images or whatever, but for this demo, I'm just going to screenshot this dude right here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an image here on this first step, and we'll drag it to the top. Add image, and I'm just going to choose the screenshot that I just took. Should be on my desktop there. And I'm going to display this on the left. And this is sort of, I'm just kind of showing you kind of how I think a little bit about getting people's attention, because just asking the question is fine, but what's really going to stand out? You know, a little question in the middle of the page or a really cute dog. You know, there's all sorts of things you can do. We may have a JavaScript error here we have to work out. Anyway, that's not for you to worry about. That's for me to worry about. If you ever can't click, just refresh the page and try then. But something seems to be semi-broken right now. So I'm going to add a paragraph, and sorry, again, mouse. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to put like an emoji with a hand. And I'm going to say, hi there. Quick question. And I think this is going to look cool because it's going to sort of personify the dog a little bit, which people will probably think is funny. Some people, pet lovers for sure. Okay, so let's also, in addition to that, let's edit the colors here a little bit. So what I want to do is see if I can get a background color back there. So if I set the theme contrast, and again, we have another video on exactly how you can play with all of this, but you see now we have a little bit of a light blue over here. So let's update this, and let's come back over here and let's refresh and see what it looks like now. So I think what you could imagine doing is actually like making like and you could go off in Photoshop and make this a circle, you know, or something like that, or kind of work on the graphics. But like, imagine you're scrolling and you see this is going to get way more attention than just the boxes by themselves. So now we're showing, you know, the pets step there. So now you kind of have an idea of how you can play around with that. And, you know, the idea here really is, you know, keep people on your site longer, offer them something. If somebody sees this, maybe they'll click on that, something like that. So anyway, that's kind of cool. One thing that this does that you can see here happening is, and again, this is me clicking, so your stats are messed up because I'm just testing all on my computer, doing it over and over and over again. So this is doing the number of answers by unique visitors. So that's me so far. And I think if I refresh, there's probably more now. Yeah. So, but what you can see here is when people are reading your article, you can see that, okay, 75% of the people reading this would like to see more content about pets. So that's something that you don't typically get from something where you're just saying, here's some suggested articles at the bottom of the page. So this could be really useful in finding out like what you should create more of. And as you create more of that, you can build out these recommendation systems. One last tip here is we did just roll out this content card feature, and we may add some more advanced aspects of it later, so you can kind of sprinkle this all throughout your site. And maybe it'll be smarter or something like that. We're not 100% sure which direction to take that yet, but what you might want to do is actually take this tool and look at some of your higher traffic pages or pages that you think you have a good jumping off point from, and try to get people to go from those pages into some other areas of your site that maybe get a little bit less traffic or something like that. So there's different ways you could do this. You don't necessarily have to put it on every single page, but it would be something that's kind of cool to try out and see what kind of results you can get. But anyway, this video has gone on longer than I thought, so I think that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video.